Hi, my name is Danica and today I wanted to talk about my reading theme for 2015. I've actually been planning this for quite a while, but I feel like it's close enough to the end of the year that I can finally start talking about it. So after a lot of thought, I've decided that 2015 is going to be my year of reading in color. Obviously, I want to be reading more diversely, and when I was looking back at books I've read in previous years, it seems to average out to about 10% authors of color, which is way too low a number. Then I was trying to think, what is my ideal number? Is 20% acceptable? About half. In terms of representing global population, wouldn't having about 30% white authors be more accurate? And even if I do bump it up to a higher percentage, that doesn't really even out all the white authors that I've been reading previously when I'm reading 90% white authors. I tend to be an all or nothing person in a lot of respects, so having a sort of vague goal of trying to read more diversely just makes me nervous because it's harder to enforce that, it's harder to maintain. So I decided that for a couple of reasons it would be best for me to go completely in the other direction and in 2015 to try to read 100% authors of color. My first reason for that is to try to shake up my routine. It's easy to keep discovering books through the same sites and blogs and to keep reading authors that you enjoy, and that can put you in sort of a rut where you're not really discovering diverse new authors. So by trying to go really extreme with it, I'm hoping that I will develop new habits, that I'll discover a lot of new authors, and that way it'll be a lot easier to maintain a higher percentage going forward. So I'm hoping to discover not only new authors but also new booktubers and blogs and websites and other resources. My second reason was to kind of try to make up for how non-diverse my reading has been in the past. I read about 100 books a year, so by reading completely authors of color, it will up my diverse books that I've read quite a bit all in one go. And lastly, I decided to do this because it made it into a project that I'm really excited about. Instead of feeling kind of vaguely guilty about how white my reading list is, this way I am looking up lists, I am trying to discover new authors and look into new genres, and I am actually really excited about some of the books that I have lined up and about trying something that's a little bit different for me. I admit that I do have a couple of exceptions that I expect to encounter in 2015. One of them is that I follow along with Mark Oshiro's books at Mark Reads, and I will continue to do that. I've read ahead in preparation, so I don't think that will be a lot, but it will come up a little bit. And the other is that I've allowed myself to make an exception if I get a sponsored review, or if there's just an amazing book that's offered to me for review at the Lesbury. Speaking of the Lesbury, there is another specification that I have to this challenge which makes it a little bit more difficult, quite a bit more difficult, and that is that I still want to maintain about 50% lesbian books that I'm reading, or queer women books, or books that include queer women. That's what I've been researching the most. I've got a list going of queer women books by authors of color. It will get me through 2015, but I'm a little worried that that will run out most of the books that I want to read in that genre, and that's something that I really want to be continuing with in the future. So if you have any recommendations of lesbian books by authors of color, I would love to hear them. Again, I'm also hoping that this will mean that I'm discovering new authors and that I will keep finding new books by people of color that are also queer to be reading in the future. I'm really excited about this project. I'm looking forward to finding a lot of new authors and trying new things and learning a lot. Just looking at some of the first books that I'm most excited to read in the new year, I can already tell that they're going to be really thought-provoking, and I feel like this year is going to be definitely a year of learning for me. What I would love is if some people decide to join me in making 2015 the year of reading in color. You don't have to go 100%, but I think with all the discussions we have about reading diversely, this would be a great time to pledge to up your percentage of diverse books that you're reading, whether it's that you want to make sure to read a book by a person of color a month, or a certain percentage, or however you want to approach it, and just set a goal to improve from 2014. I will most likely be making more videos about this topic in the future, but that's it for today. If you're wondering why I'm trying to read more diversely or why I consider this a priority, I will link my video down below. That's 5 good reasons to read more diversely. Let me know if you're also planning to read more diversely in 2015, and thank you for watching. Bye!